I love South Park. The Stick of Truth? Friggin' awesome. South Park for the Nintendo 64? Not. But I still love South Park. South Park's newest season has been great, and I am really pumped for their new game, The Fractured But Whole. But seriously, it's looking really good so far, and it's coming out later this month, so I figured I would do a South Park video in celebration. What do you mean? What? God damn it! Well, great, it's been delayed. How did I not find this out until now? Guess I'm just doing a South Park review for the hell of it then. I've already reviewed that awful first-person shooter simply titled South Park for the Nintendo 64. And although there is a PlayStation version that I've heard is actually somehow even worse, I'm going to deviate from that genre and instead review a kart racer. Yes, South Park had a kart racer. Hell, who doesn't have a kart racer? With the success of Mario Kart, it seems that every series imaginable had a kart racer made at some point. Crash Team Racing, Diddy Kong Racing, Sonic Drift, Chocobo Racing, Pac-Man, Banjo-Kazooie, Little Big Planet, My Sims, even Bomberman. There was a friggin' Bomberman kart game. Did anyone play this? Kart racers based on TV networks, based on food, based on entire game companies? And of course, sometimes based on TV shows. So yes, there is a South Park kart game. Let's not waste any more time and let's play some South Park Rally.
Buckle up, buckaroo!
Yeah, that's really good title screen music. I mean, that's gonna be stuck in my head all day. So here's the game. Here it is. Just looks great. Yeah, the graphics don't really hold up well at all. It's a fairly ugly looking game, and I mean it's based on South Park, so you could make the argument that it's supposed to look ugly, but this just really isn't pleasant to look at. They could have done what Mario Kart 64 did and used 2D sprites instead of 3D models for the racers. That actually would have matched the show, since they were all paper cutouts. But instead, we have very poor 3D models of characters and environments. It's difficult to see other characters and obstacles from further away. You have to get closer to see anything. This wouldn't be so big of a problem, except that the levels are confusing as hell. The no-brainer thing to assume here is that this is your average kart racing game. Do 3 laps and you win. Well, nope. That would be too easy. The developers really wanted to challenge themselves, so they designed several different types of races. And I use the term race rather loosely. Sometimes you have to collect a number of Easter eggs to win, or fight the other characters for chickens, or shoot your enemies with a bow and arrow. The closest this game ever comes to regular kart racing is when you have to hit all 4 of the checkpoints in order, and then that counts as a lap. You do that 3 times and you're done. But these levels are not really designed well for any of these game types. They're all a really weird mix of level design. It's like each level is half a racetrack and half a battle arena. But they're too big and constricting to be proper battle arenas, and they're too confusing and random to be proper racetracks. So the level design really fails on both accounts. There's no sense of direction or progression. You're just driving around and aiming for the checkpoints until the race mercifully ends. And when you're playing on multiplayer, when the screen is split in half, it becomes pretty hard to see turns coming up. I end up looking at the map way more often than I'd like to. I would rather be paying attention to the actual game, not constantly glancing down just to see where the heck I am. I can't even imagine how bad this would be with 4 players. So the graphics and level design suck. How's the music though?
I mean, it sounds like somebody is shitting in my ears.
Enough said. Let's talk control. Okay, so the graphics suck, level design sucks, and the music sucks. So the control has got to be good, right? I mean, this game has to succeed somewhere. Don't get your hopes up. The control is slippery and very cheap feeling. Trying to hit other characters and collect items can be annoyingly difficult at times. Hitting a wall stops you right in your tracks, and you can even flip your car over. And it really doesn't take much. It does not take much for your car to just flip over. It doesn't have the tight feeling controls of Mario Kart. That's the bottom line. I guess I'll talk more in detail about the different types of races. So when you select Championship mode, you have to play through each type of race one at a time. You have to come in first in order to progress to the next one. And this is how you unlock levels and modes for multiplayer. It starts off with a checkpoint race. Like I've mentioned, it's overly complicated for a racing game. It makes no sense to me why they would do it like this, but whatever. And then next is this trophy mode. You have to collect a trophy and then hold on to it while you go through the checkpoints. Which honestly isn't that bad in multiplayer, but with all the CPUs driving around in single player, it can be kind of annoying. There's a mode where you have to grab an item and then hold on to it long enough until your number goes down from 100 to 0. This might have been decently fun, but once again, the level is so confusing to navigate and the controls suck. And it's really difficult to learn the layout of these levels, because when I'm playing through Championship mode, this is my first time ever playing on them. And the longer I take to just drive around and map everything out in my head, the longer the CPU characters have to win. And you have limited continues. Limited continues. You're given some tokens, and every time you lose, you have to give up one to try again. Lose them all, and you're done. Start over. Why design your game like this? I really just don't see the point. Maybe it would make more sense if all of these races were the same type of gameplay and the levels were easier to navigate, but they're not. By giving me a limited number of continues, you're just making it so that I'm not going to get to play some of the unique game modes in the later levels. And I thank you for that, because that did nothing but encourage me to stop playing sooner.
There you go. I'm going home.
Okay, so next level. This one's all about grabbing Cupid's arrow and shooting everybody else with it. But all it actually ends up being is everyone driving around the main lobby trying to drive into each other. The bow and arrow constantly being switched around between characters. It's extremely hard to keep track of who has it while you're driving around in this huge cluster of cars. And when you finally do randomly hit the right car and you collect the item, you usually don't even have a chance to turn around and shoot it before somebody else drives into you and takes it back. This game was really confusing and not very fun before, but at least it was pretty easy. But now, it's impossible. It's just become pure luck. I have trouble telling who I still have to shoot, and I can hardly ever even get the bow and arrow, let alone shoot everybody with it. Everybody just sticks together, and often you'll just turn around and see all of the computer characters just huddled together in a corner. I literally won this mode by getting the arrow and then turning around and shooting it before the camera even panned around. So I shot without even being able to see what I was shooting at. This map doesn't even really specify who's who, so it was complete luck that I won. There are more game modes, but none of them are very noteworthy. There's this underpants race, which is pretty much the exact same thing as the trophy race, except it's underwear. Oh, and then there's this game mode where you have to drive around collecting chickens. This game mode is just really annoying. The CPU characters seem to know exactly where to go to get chickens. They sometimes knock my chickens out of me, and I have a lot of trouble doing the same to them. Whenever this game requires players to fight over items, which is entirely too often, it sucks. This game is at its best when it's just about hitting the checkpoints. And even then, this game is really no good. It just feels really cheap and mediocre. God, the dogs, stop it. These dog items just latch onto you and they stop you right in your tracks. God damn it, why are there so many dogs? So much of this game is just based around luck. Collecting these Easter eggs, for example. Just hope to God that they happen to spawn near where you currently are, and that no other enemy is near you, because I swear to God, they will definitely get them first. These things are so small, and they move around so much that they really are not easy to grab. This game's also just really mediocre and cheap feeling in a lot of various small ways. There's the pre-mentioned fact about the title screen having no music, just a loud buzzing sound. And then the fart sound effect that they use in the main menu sounds so bad that I actually thought that I might have been having audio issues. Here I have to save, so I went to select the save option. But which one of these indicates the selected text? Is it white or red? On the other screens, the highlighted area is blinking, but not here. I feel like the highlighted one is red, so I'll highlight yes with red, and click. Game note saved. Okay, is that a misspelling of the word not? Or are they just calling the save file a note for some reason? I don't know. I think I'm blowing this out of proportion. This is really a nitpick, but I don't know, it just bugs me.
Well, everyone, it's Valentine's Day, and love is in the air. Players must
I'm sorry, Mayor. Could you speak up a bit? I'm having a bit trouble hearing you. Mayor, could you? Do they not know what audio levels are? And oh my God, listen to this.
You will respect my authority.
It's noisy enough with just 2 characters cursing at each other. But right when I first started my first one-player race, I'm assaulted with a dozen characters screaming. I had to turn my volume down. And would you look at that? Ike beat me in the Easter egg hunt. I was beaten by a baby.
Yay!
And oh boy, looky here. Between this level and that damn Cupid's arrow one, I've run out of continue tokens. I lose. Yep. I lose. No, it's actually you that's sucking some ass. Ooh.